Hello, this is Patrick at OneCNC West, and thank you for taking the time to take a look at this video. What I'd like to do today is I'd like to talk about the custom variables within OneCNC. Now, these custom variables appear inside the tool change dialog box for both milling and turning. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to right-hand mouse click, and we're going to select Edit Operation. And we're inside of milling right now, but you can see within the tool change dialog box here, there are these four custom variables. And what I want to do today is talk about how to use these. All right, there's going to be a little bit of post-processor work involved with this video, but not to worry, working with post-processors within OneCNC is very, very simple. All right, so let's say that on your particular CNC machine, you have a chip conveyor and you want the ability to turn that chip conveyor on and off at every tool change. So I want to show you how you can do that using these custom variables. So there are four custom variables that are available within the tool change dialog. We're just going to be working with this first variable here. So I'm going to left click where it says none, and you'll notice that there's four options that we can put in there for this. We only need to use two of these options, and to edit these options so they make sense, we're going to come down and select Edit. All right, so for this option here, which is simply called Custom 1, I'm just going to left click inside there, and I'm going to type in Chip Conveyor On. And I might even copy this to save me a little bit of typing, so I'm going to right click and select Copy. So there's the first option. Custom 2, I'm going to click in there, and I'm just going to right click and select Paste, and I'm going to change the word on to off. All right, so those are my brand new options. These options, what you type in here is not what's going to appear in the CNC code. You're simply just defining a menu at this point. Okay, so let's click OK to that. And it should be noted you don't have to follow through with the command to save that. You can just cancel out, and if we go back in here, back into edit operation, you'll see that our options are still here. Okay, so you don't have to follow through the command. After you set up your options, you can just cancel out of the dialog box. All right, so how do we make all this work? Well, we're going to need to edit the post processor. So up here where it says toolpath group, you can see we're using the post processor called default post. I'm just going to double click on that, and right here where it says setup, we're going to click on that, and we're going to be using this tab here called posting format. Now by default, this is going to default to the tool change format, and that's exactly where we want to be. To keep things simple right now, start lines, this is everything that's going to be output every time there's a tool change. And then inlines, this is everything that's going to be output at the end of a tool change. And again, to try to keep things simple, everything that you see inside of these curly brackets, those are different variables. All right, let's say that we want the chip conveyor code to appear right after the M03. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cursor underneath M03, and I'm just going to hit the enter key just to give me some space there. And you can see that the flashing I-beam is exactly where I want the chip conveyor code to be. All right, now over on the right hand side of the dialog box here, this is a list of all the variables that are available within the tool change. If I scroll down, you can see that here's all of our custom variables. Now remember how our custom variable had four options? Well, here's custom variable 1, and there's option 1, option 2, option 3, and option 4. We only used option 1 and option 2. So our first task is to get this variable for custom variable number 1. Our first task is to get that variable over here within the CNC code. So again, you can see my I-beam is right there. It's flashing. I'm going to just left click over the variable, and then I'm going to come down and click insert. And when I do that, it takes that variable and it pushes it right where my I-beam was. So very nice, and it's also very easy. So there's the variable. Now we have to tell OneCNC what to say when we select option 1 and what to say or to output when we select option 2. Well, for option 1, I'm going to say that we need an M code, so I'm going to type in M. And for on, I'm going to say, let's make that an M68. It may be different for your machine. This is just for an example. Then if someone selects option 2, remember that was the chip conveyor off, let's make that an M69. Okay? All right, so that all looks very good. So we've done everything we need to do. We put the variable in, and that was as simple as just putting the I-beam where you want it, and click Insert, and it'll put the variable there. I'm going to get rid of that one. Okay, and then we filled out the prefix, and prefix in this case, this is what's going to be output. In fact, we could take it a step further. We could put in a parenthesis there. Let's hit Control V to paste in what we had. That's going to be conveyor on. Let's go here and going to type in a parenthesis or a paren and then Control V, and let's change that to off. What I'm doing here is I'm just typing in a comment. The comment's being surrounded by the parens there, the parentheses. Okay, so you just simply fill out what you want to output where it says prefix for each one of your options. And really that's it. As soon as you click OK, OneCNC automatically takes those edits you made to the post processor and recompiles the post processor, and now that post processor is ready to use. So let's give it a try. Let's come up here to our mill pocketing, and we're going to edit the operation. And for this, I'm going to say chip conveyor on. And we're just going to go through here. Now in this case, we do need to follow through. There's the tool path there. All right, so now we're going to create the CNC code. So we're going to right-hand mouse click and select Post Group. And we're using the default post processor. So we'll click Post. I'm just going to save that to my desktop and overwrite that. And here's the CNC code. And we're going to be looking for an M68. So as I come down here, there it is. There's the M68 with the chip conveyor on comment surrounded by the parentheses. Let's try it again. Let's go in here and let's edit this. I'm going to double click on the operation. Let's go to Edit Operation, and this time I'm going to change this to Chip Conveyor Off. And again, remember, you'll need to follow through. Let it generate the toolpath. Now we're going to post this, Post Operation, Post, and now we're going to be looking for an M69, which is going to be the conveyor off. And there it is. There's the M69 chip conveyor off. Now the last test is to see what happens if you don't do anything, if you leave it set to none. So let's edit the operation. And here we're going to put it to none, which is the default. And again, we're going to follow through. That looks great. And then we're going to post this. Post operation, post. And now we should not see an M68 or an M69, and we definitely don't. So that's it. It's really a straightforward process once you realize what those variables are for. And remember that when you look inside the dialog box, you actually have 4 different variables you can work with, and each one of these variables is going to have 4 different options. Okay? Hey, hope this video helped out. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.